Tell us the Micromax story very quickly.
Started about 6 years back. We started largely in the tier 2 and the tier 3 towns, moved from the feature phone. As tech evolved in India, the networks got better, smartphones started getting fancy of the consumer wanted to get on the smartphone. That's where we brought in the smartphone. But I think beyond the devices, what we've carefully done and carefully built into the company is an affinity for the consumer interest. If you see the portfolio, the way we designed the portfolio, it is actually designed basis the consumer interest.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Android, isn't it? It's Android-based.
That's right. But the Android-based handsets, what we've done is we've blurred the line of the consumer, which was adopting the smartphones earlier. Whereas smartphones in India was always a 5-digit figure. We were the first brand to bring them to a 4-digit.
Yeah.
So the focus remains to be on a youth category of 18 to 35 years. That's what we focus on, and that's an aspirational segment.
Yep. So, I mean, they're mainly built in China, aren't they? I think 90% built in China, 10% of the work done on them is in India. Now, do you plan to change that balance?
As the new government is shaping up things, it looks very positive for the domestic manufacturing, and we would be keen to evaluate that option.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just evaluating it at the moment, yeah.
So we are in discussion with the government. Actually, right now, the way the structure is in the absence of GST, it's a little tricky option to manufacture in India, but then the engagement with the government is to understand how we can offset.
Well, Narendra Modi has come out and said that he wants India to be a mobile phone manufacturing hub. Now, those are words, though. You want to see the devil in the detail.
I think it's bound to happen. India is the second largest telecom market. We are a huge economy, a consumption of the mobile phone. It's but natural that they have to get produced in India.
All right, okay, tell me something here. Where do you go next? I mean, I think you're in Russia. I think, what is it, you're making, what, 3.5 million phones every month.
That's right.
Right.
That's
so,
right.
I mean, where are they being sold? There are going to be limits to growth in India, aren't there?
Honestly, we don't see that happening over the next 2 years. The fulcrum is changing a lot on the tech, but realistically speaking, we anyway need to de-risk the business. So beyond the India, we are present in the SAARC geographies, Russia, CIS countries. Now the intent is to look at the South African markets as well.
Okay. But then, this brings me on to the competition, because, I mean, we've seen this massive success that Xiaomi has had in China. Now, what about India? It set its sights on India. How do you compete with a company like this?
These are two different business models, I would say. So whereas the company in question is more on the online space, we are hardcore into physical distribution. Yes, we do have a footprint on the online, but currently only 5% of Micromax revenue are from online sales. So I guess it's like, wherein you are into different price segment and hence talking about different consumers.
So, I mean, what do you do? I mean, you must learn things from their model as well, because they, have this internet strategy that they use. They talk about volume here too, and you're talking about volume as well.
So I think where they have done excellent in China is where they have gone completely on the internet, but currently in India the internet penetration is not so high. So it will be seen as per the plans if they intend to come into physical retail also along with online.
Because I'd like to show everybody the phone. You just pick it up for us and just yep, there we go. He's just putting his security code in. So well, he's given it to me, but let's have a look at it. Okay, well, there we go. There we go. I've got it. Have I got it? There we go. That's it. Looks a lot like a Samsung, I have to say, Vikas. Yeah.
Looks like a smartphone, is what I'll say.
Yeah, it certainly does. Okay, so that's what you have at the moment. Now, what are the finances looking like?
Business runs good. We should be clocking sales of close to about $2 billion in the current financial year. Fairly profitable company. We should be growing about 60–70% Y on Y.
Okay. I mean, how much is that phone retailing for that we just saw?
This is a $200 retail price.
Okay. Okay, and the same equivalent to what?
So we've had,
Would it be equivalent to a Galaxy S4 or something like that?
I would say, if you really see the specs per se, it will be equivalent to an iPhone 6, considering, the display size, the display resolution and all.
That's quite something. Yeah. Okay, this also brings me on to when you're going to the market.
That's something we're evaluating keenly. It's a question of what should provoke us to hit the capital markets. The company runs profitable, enough of treasury. We're looking at some inorganic expansion or a heavy, capex into manufacturing. That will pull us to the IPO.
Okay, once you decide that move,
right.
Exactly, and you do want to, of course, do more manufacturing in India. So I'm reading between the lines and thinking it's not too far off. Okay. Yeah.